Liberal Democrats, their party conference sort of happened over the weekend and they're wrapping it up today. Ed Davey, the leader, is due to give his big speech. We're now joined by the deputy leader of the Liberal Democrats, Daisy Cooper, on this one. Daisy, good morning to you. When did you give a big speech? Are you allowed to give a big speech, or have you already done that?
I did my speech on Sunday afternoon. I'm looking forward to hearing Ed's today.
Yeah, and so what was your keynote messages? What were you getting across?
Well, my big announcement was around the introduction of mental health MOTs. I'm sure you and your viewers will know that there are physical checks available to people between the ages of 40 and 74, and these are routine physical checks that check for the signs of diabetes or heart disease, and they're regular things that happen. But we don't have regular mental health checks at the same time. And so what we're calling for as a party is for mental health MOTs to ensure that people are able to think about their own mental health, they're able to be signposted to help that they need, and to make early intervention available. Liberal Democrats believe that physical and mental health should have the same kind of standing, and this is just another way in which we can help achieve that.
Cooper, after four by-election victories in recent months, lots of speculation has been fuelled about what role the Liberal Democrats could play at the next election. Rumours of a possible comeback, because, of course, you were decimated, weren't you, after your disastrous coalition with the Conservatives. You certainly seem to have fallen out with them, with Ed Davey yesterday saying that actually the Lib Dems could be the absolute kingmakers in blocking the Conservatives from holding power, almost making out that they're enemies now.
Well, you've seen the state of the country. Everyone knows they can't see a GP, they can't see a dentist. Food prices are high, energy bills are too expensive, people are struggling to find childcare. The state of the country under the Conservative government is a real mess. And there are lifelong Conservative voters turning to the Liberal Democrats because they simply cannot believe what they are seeing from this Conservative government. And that's why the Liberal Democrats have ruled out doing any deal whatsoever with the Conservatives in future. But aside from that, our major goal is really to oust as many Conservative MPs as possible at the next general election. The Liberal Democrats are in second place to the Conservatives in around 80 seats around the country, and our focus is on trying to get electing as many Liberal Democrat MPs as possible.
You have ruled out a coalition with the Conservatives, but you won't rule it out when it comes to Labour. Would you consider then a full coalition, or do you think that Lib Dems would prefer more of a sort of confidence and supply kind of setup?
Well, it's very easy to rule out a coalition with the Conservatives or doing any deal with them because of the absolute mess that we can see in front of us, and the fact that all the blame for all of the mess we see in front of us really does lie at the feet of the Conservative government. We hear time and time again that people are fed up, that they've blown a hole in the nation's finances, they've driven our NHS into the ground, and that they are damaging our environment. But in terms of what happens after the next general election, it's just something we can't even contemplate right now. Our goal is focused exclusively on getting to 10 p.m. on the polling day of the next general election. Between now and then, we're going to have a laser-like focus on electing as many Liberal Democrat MPs as possible. After 10 p.m, let's see how the cards fall.
There are a few divisions within the party. We saw that around housing yesterday with what some are describing as a humiliating defeat for the leadership, but perhaps more noticeable when it comes to the issue of the European Union. Unable probably to say what you really want to say, which is rejoining the EU is your longer-term goal, but you're having to stop short of that. So will you come clean with people this morning and say what the Lib Dems really want to do when it comes to the EU?
Oh, we have come clean. We've been very clear for the last 18 months that we think that Brexit has been a negative thing for the country. We have set out a roadmap as to how we want to rebuild the relationship between the UK and the EU. We think the Conservative government have really broken that trust. They've really damaged our trading relationship. Up and down the country, we know that small businesses have been wrapped in red tape, that many businesses can't get the staff that they need, they can't get the skills that they need, and our farmers, for example, have been really sold down the river in terms of the damaging trade deals that have happened. So we've been very honest about the fact that we have got a roadmap as to how we want to rebuild that relationship. But quite frankly, the difference within our party is about the emphasis that we give this issue. I know from knocking on doors and from my constituents who contact me that the fundamental issues facing my constituents and people across the country right now are the cost of living crisis and the absolute scale of the disaster facing our NHS and our care services. And that's why the Liberal Democrats will keep banging the drum on those two issues between now and the general election.
Okay.
Daisy Cooper is the deputy leader of the Liberal Democrats. Their conference winds up today with the big speech from their leader, Ed Davey. Daisy, thanks for your time. Thank you very much indeed.